How we doing, everyone? We're going to do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. We're going to be doing a playthrough of G.I. Joe Mission Critical. So, yeah, I've never done a gameplay on camera before, so again, this is the first time. Excited. So, I want to talk a little about the game itself. So why I was disappointed and why I'm probably not going to keep this in my collection. Here's a figure from, this is a Simon figure from Zombicide. And here's a figure that I created. This is the Destiny Aurora figure. Okay. You can see that even mine's a little bigger, right, than the Zombicide one. Then we have their figure, which is even bigger. And that's the Trooper figure. And then this is where I was, even if I didn't like the game, I was going to keep for the figures. Then they created the actual heroes, and it's not playable with anything. I don't know why they did this. It's not playable. Look how big that is. It's not playable with any other game. So, very disappointing. I don't know why they decided to go with these. Like, here's, look how big that is. That's, Cobra Commander. And I didn't even get them painted because they're huge. I can't do anything with them. So let's go with setup to begin with. So this is like the setup. So you'll have the center. And then your Joes will start in that center. Then you have the two set of Cobra cards here that have their own tokens. And the tokens are going to relate to other things. And then we have all the cards for the bosses over here. We have our little display here. That's the other thing is this thing it's way too big for what it is. There's no reason to have had these two boards as big as they are. There's no reason for the vehicle cards to be these tarot card sides. It's crazy. How much space they wasted here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the Joes in the center. We're going to put these two things here. Basically, that's your lives. So after you die, you're going to take one of those out. If you have any more left, you're going to lose. I've never won this game. I've played it about 5 or 6 times. I have never won yet. So then you have these tokens here, and you're going to randomly place them on the locations. So there's 4 locations. I would have actually preferred some kind of a dungeon crawl with this game, but that's not what we got. So over here, I have these 4 sets of cards here, and the reason that they're like that, I spread them out. They're all different backed, and then I'm going to randomly take one of the lieutenant cards. I'm just going to take one in the middle, and that one goes there. These other sides get discarded. Also, I have additional cards for the vehicles. These were like Kickstarter exclusive stuff, and I didn't take them out of the thing because I'm going to sell it. So that's why those are in there. I also got a special Snake Eyes card. So like when Snake Eyes was first released, that was like what the backing looked like. So it's a little bit of a homage. So anyway, so this, I didn't untake that either because, again, I'm going to sell it. So people will probably be happy that I didn't take it out of the box. But anyway, so I'm going to put one there. Then I'm going to put Baroness here. And I'm going to put Cobra Commander here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these up. Okay? So I'm going to make sure it's not on top, but it's somewhere in the middle. Could be on the bottom. And I'm going to do the same for each one of these. Okay. And the reason being, is that, okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these. So I know that within every 5 cards, there is a bad guy except for the first 5. Okay. So what we're going to do is basically the bad guys go first. So they're going to populate this board. So what we're going to do is we're going to go number 1. Now the red ones are over here which is my Crimson Guard. So I'm going to take 2 Crimson Guard, and I'm going to put it at that location. So that's over here. And if you notice, each one of the locations has a number. So once they get overrun, we're going to put little, crisis tokens on those. And those crisis tokens, once each one of those locations has a crisis token, I lose. The game's over. So there's a bunch of ways to lose. They can either have crisis tokens all over the map, or I run out of people, or run out of lives, and that's about the extent of it. So now we're going to take the second card, and what there is 5 deployments. So there's 2, which I think is too many. Okay, I think that if you're playing with 4 people, I think it should have been correlated to the amount of people that are playing, but they're not. It's 5 no matter what. So then these are the blue guys. So the blue guys are going to go over here. Number 3, I have one more blue guy over here. So look at that. I have 3 out of 5 already, and I just started the game. I only have 3 cards out. Number 4, I have another blue guy going over here at the castle, and another red guy over here. So literally I have 4 out of 5 for that to be, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deployments already. All right, and obviously I'm not 4 people. So what I did was I combined CoverGirl and Stalker into one deck. Each one of the characters has their own deck of 10. So they're combined here. And then Scarlet and Snake Eyes have their own deck here. All right, so what I'm going to do is each one of your movements, you have 3 actions here, which I don't know if you can see them. They're off the map. But anyway, so there's 3 action tokens here, and then Scarlet and Snake Eyes have their own 3. Okay, and as I use the actions, I'm going to flip those over. Once I flip them all over, then we have another 5 deployments. Okay, so it gets crazy real fast. All right, so I think technically you're supposed to have 5 cards in your hand to start with, but we'll wait until we go into battle because you always draw up to 5 during battle anyway. All right, so my first action, of course, I'm going to move somebody over there to take care of those 4. But since I'm only playing basically with 2 characters, 2 people are going to move over. They're basically a team of 2. All right. So then I have these over here, and we'll explain those when we get to that. I'll explain the energy thing and those dots when we get to it. And then this board over here. Again, I think this is overkill for the amount of space that they used up here. So I'm going to take Stalker and CoverGirl. All right, so Stalker, CoverGirl are going to move into that location. So that's one of my little things, so now I'm going to turn that over. All right, so there's 3 things that I can do. All right, so here's my little trusty cheat sheet. And I have a hero move action. I can battle or I can recover. I can also go into the center and reshuffle. So when I run out of cards, that's automatically a death. Okay, so you're trying to stay alive as long as possible with the amount of cards that you have, and you go through the cards pretty quickly, and I'm going to show you how that happens. So I have those guys here. I'm going to move the rest of the guys over here. So Scarlet and Snake Eyes are going to go over there. Again, a dungeon crawl would have been a lot better. But this is like a reskin of a Power Rangers game, and it kind of feels like it. So, all right, and rolling dice is not my forte. I suck at it. My luck kind of stinks, and you'll see how that happens real quick. All right, so now they're there, and now I can start a battle as my second action. So I'm going to turn that over, and there's my second action, which is battling. All right, now this is how battling works. Because that's really all there is. There's movement, recovering, and there's battles. There's not really a whole lot of thought to it, and it all comes down to luck at that point. All right, so I have my deck of cards for my Crimson Guard and my deck of cards for my Troopers. All right, so I have 2 Troopers there, and I have 2 Crimson Guard, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 Crimson Guard cards, And then I'm going to take 2 Cobra Trooper cards. All right. And I'm going to lay them out. All right. So they'll get laid out in the bottom. So maybe I'll move this up a little bit here so you can see everything. So I have the 2 Crimson Guards go first. And then these cards go here. All right. So I have 4 cards here. They all have a health on top. They have what their foot soldiers on the bottom. And, little whatever name of the card. But also the fact that they're all guards, all right? Which is fine because one guard can't guard another card, so technically that's all useless. So the first one, so every time they take a turn, I'm going to put the first player token there to show that this is the card that's up to take its turn. There's nothing fast here, and we're going to definitely go into fast cards. So there's nothing fast here, so actually I get to go first. All right, so what does that mean? So I'm going to take my 5 cards out of my deck. Because you start with 5 cards. So that's 4 and 5. All right. So the X, so what's going to happen here is I have 2 of these that go in a general supply at the beginning of battle. If I had any on here, I would also throw that in there. You can only hold 1. So it doesn't really. I guess I can hold 2. I have 1 per character. So this card is out of bounds. I can't use this card even if I wanted to because it's too expensive. What this card does, if I spend 2, I'll do 2 damage. All right, which leaves these cards here. So with her. She has once per battle. You can use a vehicle at 1 cost. I'll explain that when we get to it. And then he has once per battle with any hero. Reveal a card with a thing ability for a defense. Deal 1 damage to an enemy card of your choice. So when we go into defense, I'll show you how that works. All right. So squad tactics. Game 1. Another hero may immediately take another turn. All right. So that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll do my attack first because it says another hero. And she doesn't really have any cards. It's all basically Stalker. How did that happen? I have 1 Cover Girl card. Okay, maybe we'll do that. All right. So I'm going to use Pulverize. What that does is allows me to roll 2 dice. This is Carter's. No, it's not required for defense. All right, so I'm going to roll 2 dice, and we'll see what we get. And I did absolutely nothing. Okay, so I did 1 damage. So I'm going to take a damage, and I'm going to put it here. All right. So now it's their turn because I did nothing. I told you I suck at rolling dice. So I love rolling dice. I just suck at it. All right. So half the heroes in this battle, rounded up, discard the top card of their deck. All right. So I have basically 2 heroes here. So rounded half is 1. So I'm going to take 1 card and I'm going to stick it there. And then I'm going to move this over. All right. So I get to take my turn now. So I am going to use Squad Tactics, which is a Stalker card, and I'm going to gain 1. Not sure what I did with all the... Okay, so I'm going to gain 1. That's going to gain me 3. Right? So now I have a choice. So I can immediately use another card, which means I can use the Yo-Jo from CoverGirl, or I could use the attack here, but that's Stalker, so it says another hero. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to give up all 3 of these, and I'm going to destroy this card. So this, when I destroy it, it turns over, right? So that also means that it's not going to take its turn. Okay, so now we have one of these red guys here is going to disappear and go there. Okay, so I can effectively use him to purchase these, which I'm not even close. All right, but now I have no more energy to use for these. So my whole thing is over. That's one of the problems, is that now I'm dead in the water. I have no other cards I can use. So the battle is basically lost. All right, so I'm going to deal 3 damage, and then I'm going to deal 2 damage. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to flip over cards. So that deals 2. So I have 2 shields on this card, right? So that takes 2 out of the 3, and then there's the 3rd, and then I'm going to take 2 damage from that. And there's my 2. So I just went through 3 cards defending that. Okay? So on my next turn, so that basically went boom, 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 because I couldn't do anything. So they're going to take their turns and I can't. So all these cards are going to get shuffled back in now to their respective decks. All right? And that's how battling works. So when you're battling more people and you don't have any energy to use, it becomes very difficult. And out of that whole thing, I killed 1 guy. Okay? And so when I do another battle, I'll draw back up. Right now, I have 2. All right? So now we're going to go into Snake Eyes, and I forgot to turn this over. So there's that one for the movement, and there's one for the battle. Okay? So I'm going to draw up 5 cards for these guys. And hopefully I do better with these guys. And I don't like Scarlet's power at all. Once per battle, any hero may look at the top card of their deck and swap it with a card in their hand. So I guess that's kind of like, it probably would work really well with these guys because I couldn't do anything. And then Snake Eyes has, I can roll 1 extra die until I basically use a Scarlet card. So if I keep using Snake Eyes cards, I can use 1 extra die. Once I use a card from her, it disappears. All right, so now I only have 2 guys here. So I'm only going to take 2 from these Cobra Troopers, and I'm going to put them here. And again, you can't guard each other, and neither one of them are fast, and that's going to go there. All right, so I'm going to get to go first. So I am going to use Snake Eyes first. So Snake Eyes is going to use Stealth Takedown. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. All right, so that's there. So I get to roll 2 dice, but with his special power, I get to roll a 3rd one. If this attack defeats a foot soldier, return this card to your hand instead of discarding it. Okay, that's great. So let's hope I can kill somebody. All right, so I get 2 damage. So we're going to do 2 damage to the first card. And I defeated a foot soldier. So this is going to go back into my hand. All right, so technically I can just do that again and roll 3 more die, except this guy has 3 health. So I don't think I'm going to be able to beat him on the first round. I did 2 damage to him. Okay, so he has 2 damage. Yeah, these guys are doing better this time. Normally with Scarlet, I get my butt kicked. So now this one would activate, but since there's nothing, it's dead. So I'd move this guy here over to here. So now I have 2. So he's done. So he does nothing. So technically I could go again. And I'm going to use the same card again, which means I still use 3 core die. And it would go back into my hand if I can defeat him, which I do. So these guys did a lot better. So I'm going to take that back into my hand. I now have 4 cards in my hand. I'm going to put that to the side. This thing's going to turn over. And the battle's over. And this will go here. So I successfully cleared out that area. All right, which is a lot better than the other two just did. All right, so now I'm going to put these cards back in here. And what I may do is have those guys go help the other two, since they're getting their butts handed to them. So that's what I'm going to do. So for my last action, for these guys, I'm going to do a recover action. All right, and what that means, I can take 6 shields out of here and put them back into my deck. All right, so let's just read that, make sure that's correct. Choose cards from your discard pile with a total of 6 shields, then shuffle these cards back into your deck. Yep, it's right. And I get a token for that as well. Okay, so I'm going to take 6. So we're definitely taking this one. I'm basically taking all the cover girls out. So that's 5. And I'll take the squad tactics for 6. And I would reshuffle my entire deck up again. And the reason I did that is because now I'm going to move those guys over to help with that other city. And now Cover Girl and Stalker can exist a bit longer. I still have 3 cards in the discard pile here and only 1 here. All right. So what they're going to do is they're going to, for their final action, are going to move over here. And that'll be my final action. Okay. So now we're into another deployment. So now we're going to get a boss. We know we're going to get a boss because there's another person in there. All right. So, all right. So 3 over here, because remember we're using this thing for the location. So they have 6. So that's number 1. Number 2. Oh shoot. So we're up 5 out of 6 right now for that location. That's a problem. All right. So, and so we have these 2 are going to be in limbo because we don't know where they're going to go yet. Because now we got a lieutenant. So the lieutenant that's coming out is Dr. Mindbender. So we're going to get Dr. Mindbender. And we're going to put all of them here. Now, when a villain automatically comes up, guess what? It automatically gets a token. So we have 1, almost 2. We're almost halfway to losing right now. All right. So, so far, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the first deployment. Let me just get rid of those. And now I have 1, 2, 3. He doesn't count. So I have 2 more deployments yet. Frig. Now the rulebook doesn't say anything about running out of figures. So I don't place when I run out of figures because there is nothing else you can put in anyway. So we have 3 going here and 1 more. 2 more blues here. And look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. The game's almost over. See, this is my problem with it, is that there's really, it's too difficult to win. It should be 4 deployments with 2 players. Because look at this. And I literally have 5 guys even left in the pool anymore. So it looked like a lot of figures, and now they're all on the board. All right, so these are going to flip over. All right, and I'm going to have these guys go first. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to get 1 card. That's 5. After you resolve this attack, perform a second attack with 2 dice, then perform a third. Okay, so, and that costs 3, so I don't even have enough for that. So these 2 are going to go back into the pool here. I can't use that card. All right, so I have 3 cards here. So I'm going to take 2 blue, 1 red. Red's going to go first. See, there's a fast card. So they automatically go first. Guard and guard, which means I can't even attack this card because the guard is here. I can't attack either one of them. So I have to attack the guard first, which is a problem. All right, so we'll put this here. They go first. They deal 2 damage and they drain 1. Now they don't have anything to put into it, so I'm automatically going to lose 1. And I'm going to deal 2 damage. So my first card has 2. There you go. So 2. So I block it with that. All right. So I just lost a card. I drained a thing. So I can't even afford to take anything. Shoot. So I have this card here. Play this card when a hero suffers damage, which we just did. That hero looks at the top card of their deck and may swap it with a card in their hand. Okay. Of course, she has the same thing. So let's get rid of that. And that hero looks at the top card and swaps it with a card in their hand. But I can't use it. It's a 3. So I'm going to forego that. Oh, man. I have nothing. Really, again, I have nothing. So I'm going to use this card here, which is kind of a pain because if I don't do 3 damage, I won't get that back into my hand. Oh, look at that. Okay, so the blue guy's going to die. So now I have 4. So technically, I can use either one of these cards here with a thing of 4. Use this card before a hero rolls dice for an attack to add 3 dice to that attack. I almost want to use that for him, so I probably don't want to use that. So the vamp, until the end of the battle, each time a hero performs an attack, they may re-roll 1 die. Yeah, I'm not going to use anything. So this would go here. So, of course, he's dead, so there's nothing. It doesn't do anything. I would get this card back because I killed him. And now I'm going to use it again. All right, so go Snake Eyes. Scarlet hasn't gone yet. I do 3 damage. So I'm going to kill this card. Why? Because if I don't, it's going to drain my last thing there. So I'm going to kill that. So it won't do any damage to me. So I'll take that to go there. And I think that's really... So now this is going to move here. So I have 1 more. And I have nothing. Because I only can do 1 damage. It's not enough. And then I have a 3. So, what I can do, because if I don't use that, it'll go into my pool. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to hold. I'm going to put that into my pool. And then I'm going to shuffle these back in. And now the other team's going to go. And I need that team to get out of there now. And I think I'm going to go fight Dr. Mindbender. And of course, I'll be doing that with my my team that should be stronger but isn't. All right. So I'm going to use one. Okay, so that was one battle. And now I'm going to do a movement. So Stalker, Cover Girl. Going to move there. That's my one action. I am probably going to go ahead and do a battle. So 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I am going to take these 4. Okay, so she has. All right. So first of all, I'm doing a battle. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the third one came from my card. All right. So I can buy one of those for 1 less. So I could buy the 5 one as well. Roll 5 dice and deal X roll to an enemy card of your choice. So basically it gives me an extra attack. So let's do that. Let's take all 4 of these. Take the Mobat. It'll be there. All right. So we have 3. So we have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. That'll be fast. Fuck. We have no guards. Now this is how the villains work. So the villains have their own deck. Okay. So here's Dr. Mindbender. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Dr. Mindbender has 8 cards. So we're going to take those 8 cards and shuffle them. And I basically have to do 4 damage or 4 card damage to him. I have to defeat 4 cards. That'd be the best way to say it. To get him off the map. And if there was a guard, here, then it would also guard here. All right, so it does guard. And that's the other thing, is that this all should have been combined. Anywho. All right, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Mobat right away. And I'm going to roll 5 dice. Which is very... frig. See, here's the problem. If I don't get rid of this card, do I have one of the... No. See, Stalker has a card that allows him to subvert the fast card. And it looks like I'm running out of battery, so I'm probably going to have to charge it up and then come back. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. But let me know what your thoughts are. And also, you'll see behind me, I have Cats and Lords of LA. So again, I just got the edited version for Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch. Just came in, so I have to go through that. It's going to probably take me at least 3 weeks to go through the changes and accept them or not. And then we have, I have to go through setting it up for print. And then, so we're getting there. We're getting there. So if you haven't gotten that or haven't got Lords of LA, I am doing a signing on the 18th, which is going to be here in LA. So if you are in LA or in the Valley, definitely come out. It'll be in Collector's Paradise. It's on Facebook. So you can DM me or whatever, and I'll send you the link. But it's at Collector's Paradise in Winnetka. But anyway, so it's that's going to be lots of fun. So I'm signing all the Lords of LA stuff. I'm signing Destiny Aurora. I'm signing cats. I'm signing my books. And I'll have a few games out there because my games are dwindling as well. I don't have many more left. But anyway, so I'll then put the links in the description. Also, if you haven't listened to Destiny Aurora, the audiobook, I am going to probably be running a Kickstarter on that generally soon. I was going to start preparing for a D&D thing for Tales of Ravenor, but I think that's on hold because of all the stuff that's going on with D&D right now. But anyway, check out those links below, and thank you so much for watching, and definitely subscribe and post and share and like and all those different YouTube things. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye-bye.